All right, so I'm getting a late start. Um, I'm actually I've been staying up super late, so I haven't really been waking up for market open. But it's 12:30, and that's crazy. But I've been I'm actually asleep in my little brother's room, and he got these blackout curtains. So when I first woke up, I thought it was still like super early in the morning, like because that's what I be doing. Like I go to sleep, it'll be like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And when I first wake up, it'll be like 8. So I just close my eyes. I go back to sleep. But this time, you know what I'm saying? I checked the phone. It said 12:30. I'm like, no way. I open up the phone. I'm like, yeah, it's actually uh, noon. So, but just looking at what price did. I mean, this was the I did a little exercise last night, and I was able to catch this, and I actually got out at the very top before we made this move down here, and then we came up and we never actually took this high, which was my original target last night, I believe, or was it this? I think it was this 963. Yeah. So last night when I got in this long, I was targeting this 963, and we were just struggling to get there. And I was saying that when the market's like chopping and ranging like this, you can really like long and short. I don't just do it blindly, but you could kind of long and short like every relevant high and low, or expect for there to be a reversal when the market's chopping at every relevant high and low. So like um, here you see, what's this, the 5? Okay, let me go to the 1, make it look a little more, and zoom in a little bit, and then we'll get into what's happening right now. But so this entry, at the time we had this 1 minute PVC on the session. What I didn't like was that we went high, we came back, tapped into it, we made a higher high, tapped into it again, we made a lower high. All right, tapped into it again, we didn't quite take the low, but we kept failing to take highs. But as you can see here, we go above these relative equal highs right here, and we get this reversal. All right, then we come up and we barely take out this high, and we get this reversal. Um, we barely wick these lows, and we get this. We get this right here. All right, we take these lows out, and we get this move here. So once we started taking these lows, and once we took this low, this was my PVC low. Once we took this low and we continued to fail to take these highs, then that was a big signal that we were about to make a run to the downside, and we were on top of this 30-minute PVC as well. So notice we get these strong moves above it. When we retrace, we reference the PVC. And just for reference, this is our 30-minute PVC. Right here. All right, so as we're closing above it, as we're getting these strong moves above it, we come back and we reference it. Once we get a strong move below it, we come back and we reference it here. All right, but we're pretty much using our PVC. Like this is our major PVC, this 30, and how price is reacting to it. The fact that when we first broke above it, we went this high. Right, then we came back and we tapped it and we failed to go high. Then we tapped it again, we failed to go high. Tapped it again, failed to go high. Tapped it again, we're failing to take this high. Right, so you could just see like the buyers are getting weaker and the sellers are getting stronger because the lows are getting, because the highs are getting lower, and we break beneath it, we start to reject off of the high. We basically break back into the 30-minute PVC. When we're below it, we're inside the candle when we're below it. So because we're inside of it, we want to see the rejection from the high side. And that's what we start to get. We get this strong move here, we get a direct tap here, and we push lower, right? And then we come back here again, we tap, we push lower, right? And then we're getting these little taps here. Let me see if we get any closes. No, we got this close here, which resulted in the engulf. And then we got tap, tap, and we barely missed it right here, but we push lower. So, this is exactly what you want to see. Again, strong move. We floated beneath it for a while, and then we come back, we reference it again. We get this bounce here, boom, we're falling. So you want to be framing entry around these major PVCs. Once you get really good at reading them, then you can start to use the other PVCs like this one right here would have been great. Right, you got this doji PVC, and it's the same thing, the same way that we're working around the 30. When we make a strong move inside of it, we want to get short off the high when it retraces into it. So pretty much same thing with like this move right here. We made a strong move above it. So you notice when we came back, we tapped into it and we took out this high. All right. And then we came and we had this chop. We kind of chopped into it. Now, mind you, this is a doji, so you're going to see more accumulation than you will just a strong trending market coming off of this candle. But notice how many times we come back and we reference this doji. We come back, we reference it here. We make this move into it here. And then we also bounce off of it again, consolidate, and we make another move off of it here. This one produced another PVC. You look at the volume compared to the volume that's in the range. This is another PVC. And it's bullish. We got a bottom tail. So then you see same thing. We get the strong close above it, price retraces, and we tap the high. And we make a strong move off the high, and price retraces. Now I'll draw this line for this one. We retrace into it, we close into it. Shortly after, we get this kind of consolidation. We try to close back above it, but now we reject off the high and we push lower, right? But we're failing to take this low. All right, so then we come back, we get this close above it. Again, we're still consolidating here, right? But ultimately, when we close above, we start tapping back below. So we're rejecting from the high at this point. So this is the same thing, just on a macro level with, a mini PVC on the 1 minute, but you can still see. So even these smaller spikes, like anytime there's a spike that's bigger than the relative volume, you can kind of use that to gauge what price you do next. And many professionals maybe wouldn't recommend this, but this is effectively reading like every move on the chart, like every candle. Volume is letting you know what every candle is more so giving you the expectation of what every candle can produce. So yeah, you got that. And then ultimately we get this run back up to the 30 again. And moving off the 30. I think with the larger PVCs, when you frame your entry around the larger PVC, you can just kind of expect to catch a bigger move off of the higher time frame PVC. Don't get me wrong, you can use the lower time frame PVCs to position yourself or to get entries inside of these higher time frame PVCs, because if I go to the 30 and we show you the movement around this 30-minute PVC, you don't really see an entry here. You don't. You know what I mean? Like, this is just nasty chop, right? This is just nasty chop. But ultimately we got, like last night, what has happened at 3:30, but we had this bearish, and that was the most relevant volume for this range. right? We had this rejection coming from the 30-minute PVC, this top tail. And that was kind of saying like, all right, buyers should slow down here because we got this rejection, we got this strong run, and then we got this rejection. This was the last big spike in volume. You see we got 89,750 on that. I'm looking at the top left here for my volume, and then you see the volume following it: 31,000, 9,000, 13,000, 9,000. So there's nothing near this 89,000. So the fact that we were in this strong bull run, and then we got this candle and the volume died out, that lets you know that we would either be pushing down, we would be consolidating, or pushing down, or in this case, pushing down out of the consolidation, because we didn't have any bullish volume to counteract this. So we wanted to see this retrace into a level where the volume was higher than this, which was about 89 here. You got 90 right here. So notice we come here and look at how the bodies respect the low of this candle that had more volume than this. So this right here let me know how far that we could retrace. We had 89,750 right here, right? And this candle right here has, this candle right here has 90,320. So that's effectively more volume, right? And look at where price goes. So we go from this candle. I can't believe it's 12 o'clock. I'm really like, I slept great. Don't get me wrong. I've been sleeping on the couch. I've been sleeping on the couch. I got to sleep in little bro's bed. They got him a real nice bed, man. So I slept on a cloud. Yeah, that's just what it is right now. So that candle to this candle. Right, and then we see how the bodies respect the low of our bullish PVC that we retraced into. Granted, we wicked into all of this, but notice we turned around, we referenced that 1 hour PVC once again. All right, the bodies respected this candle, but we closed inside this 1 hour PVC. So huge, that was a huge bullish indication that the trend was going to continue. We just didn't get any strong bearish volume. At any point in time, we haven't got any strong bearish volume as we're traveling inside of this fair value gap. You see, this is a gap. These executions are always in the way. It looks like I take millions of trades. I do take maybe a lot of trades, but I'm not going to get into that. If we're traveling inside of these gaps, and you kind of just want to see these gaps. You do want to see these gaps get ran through like how they are, but you want to see little rejections at the level like this 15. One thing I'm noticing is that whenever you have like a PVC that's like kind of random, one thing I do like that this is at the consequential encroachment, but the fact that this 15 got ran like how it did, like we got a little rejection. The rejection was like 50, 40 handles or something like that, which is good. On a lower time frame, like we consolidated here and we got the little rejection. But overall, it's just kind of like we had more volume on the 15 than the bullish volume that was coming into it on the 15. And I'll show it real quick. So this is my 15-minute high, right? The PVC. All right, my bearish 15-minute PVC. This is the high of it. And then we got a gap here as well. Notice we ran into it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles. When we get to this level, then we finally get a bearish candle, but it just doesn't produce anything. But when you look at the bullish volume coming into it, it's not much. It's not really relevant, So I would expect a bigger rejection here. But when I go to the 30 and I see where that 15 actually exists, it's like in no man's land. You know, I really like highs and lows of candles, especially when it's on a higher time frame. The 15 is like in between. I don't use the 15 as much, but still, whenever I see a strong PVC, I expect to get a reaction at the level, and that's really all I'm gauging. It doesn't mean that there has to be a reaction at the level, but the fact that we got such a little reaction was kind of like, that's just more confirmation that bulls are going to continue to run. It's the best confirmation you can get. All right, I was on the 30 with the highlighted candles. All right, so this candle let us know that the retrace had the potential to go this far right here. So notice we get our first close into this candle, right? We first close into this candle. Let me kind of zoom in here. All right, well, first we get the direct tap into it right here. We get the direct tap into it the first time we reference it, and this gives us a pretty nice rejection here, about 40 handles. Then we close into it, and once we close into it, what happens? We reject from the high. All right, we close into it here, and then we come back and we reject from the high side of this PVC, and we dig a little deeper into it. But that doesn't last very long, and as you can see, the volume goes from, I need to get these other candles out the way. Let me go to replay mode real quick, just so I can see the volume more accurately. So yeah, we close beneath it, volume goes from low to high. So this is my EVC, right? And this is on the 30, so volume goes from low to high, and then we get the reversal coming after the EVC. All right, and then once again we reject from the high because we get close into it, and then we try to engulf here. All right, but I'm not going to stay in replay mode. I was just trying to get a better look at that volume. All right, so we fail to take the low after we reject again. We fail to take the low. And so then we get the strong close back into it, and what do? Then once we close back above it, then we come back and we reject from the low. Right, and this rejection took us all the way from 883 up to 958, so that's about 70 handles. But this rejection comes from the 30-minute, the high of the 30-minute PVC, when we rejecting up here. So we're traveling back and forth between our PVCs. All right, and this rejection takes us into it takes us into these lows, but ultimately we turn around at the 1 hour PVC, and we dig really deep into this, 60 handles into this 1 hour PVC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the time frame. And show what I would be looking for to get an entry once we tap into my key level. And if you want to take a wild guess what I'll be looking for, it's going to be a PVC at my key level. So notice price runs all the way down here, and this is market open. All right, so now we're at the market open. When the market opens, we get this strong bearish PVC right here. That's we had swing high, swing low. This is coming at the bottom of the swing. We get the consolidation, and then we get the continuation, right? So here, I'll go ahead and mark this up as my PVC, having it market open. All right, on the 1 minute. I'll just mark these yellow for now. All right, because this is my market open PVC on the 1 minute. As we're traveling down, we get more volume. All right, we got more volume here, right? So that's what's carrying us carrying us through these levels. And honestly, if I was in the market when this was happening, I would effectively think that bears have re-entered the market. But if you zoom out though, the 1 minute candles today, yeah, they are. They're more than the bearish candles from yesterday. So I would definitely think that we should run all these levels. That would be my expectation. That's the expectation, but expectations are not always met. So you just want to continue to trade what the chart is showing you, and what we're looking at specifically is how price is reacting to these levels. So notice we get more volume, here and here as we're traveling down, and price just continues to travel down. And then when we get beneath this 1 hour PVC, we get a bullish PVC that's more volume than all of this bearish volume here on the 1 minute. Bullish PVC comes in right here, and there's more volume than all of this bearish volume. So at that point, then I would be expecting for price to run all of these levels, because my bullish PVC now is more than all of this. All right, to the left. So what happens? Instead of rejecting at our lows here, we're closing into them. Right? Instead of rejecting at this low, we do get this little wick action here. We tapped into it, and this offered about 30 handles off the tap into it, the first tap into it. This one looks like it offered nothing. In real time, when the market's very volatile, this 1 minute candle, it could have tapped and rejected and still ended up closing strong bullish. But you don't really want those trades, because you're likely gonna unless you have a 15-second chart, a lower time frame chart, then it's kind of hard to gauge like if that's actually gonna hold up or not when it just happens in real time, when you get a strong move and then in 5 seconds you're up 20 handles, and then it comes back and rejects like immediately, you close strong bullish, stuff like that. So but yeah, and we run all the way up, and we run up to our initial market open PVC right here, and we get this rejection. Now when we run back low, when we retrace, and notice we don't get any in the volume candle here. Like this is what we see when the bulls are strong. So yeah, we get retrace after we ran all of these bearish PVCs, and then we get our reaction at the original. Whenever you see stuff like this and it doesn't make that much sense to you, just go up the time frame. Go up the time frame. See, when you go up the time frame, we got a clear as day EVC on the 5. That's our EVC. And then we got the bullish engulf on the 5. And then we'll be looking at this to say, okay, well, what's price doing when we tap back into this? I'll mark this up to 5. We close into it, right? And we got decent volume. We close into it as well. So again, these are things that would make me think like, we might be bears may be back in business. But right after this, we get this engulfing action, and then we're wicking from the low of our 5 minute EVC. Right? And then when we close into it, we get the engulf again. So these are super bearish indications. The fact that we're using this level now as support. So again, if you see something on the 1 that doesn't make sense, go to the 5. If it doesn't make sense on the 5, go to the 15. Just keep traveling up the time frame until you see, because on the 30, this is a bottom tail. This is a strong bullish candle. It's a bottom tail, right? Bottom tail PVC on the 30. So what can we expect after that on the higher time frame? We could expect for our bias to be bullish and to continue to run these highs. You got a strong close back above this 30-minute PVC. I wouldn't mind to see price retrace into it here and, for us to get along from this level. So this is how we read the narrative going into It's how we read the narrative in general. It doesn't matter. That's why I do the exercise that I do. I just want to be able to pull up the chart and find a trade because, you know, the setups are everywhere. Now, the market that I like to be in, I like to be in a trended market when we're just getting distribution all over the place. That way when you get an entry, you don't necessarily have to worry about fighting through all of this, to get a good run on price. Because that's the thing. I can't predict. Like right now, we're in a bull run, right? Price is bullish. It's not a strong run, but it's a persistent run. I can't predict like the next candle, and it just went 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. So the next candle could tank bearish, and we can get a ton of volume on a bearish candle. I can't predict that, So, will I expect it? No, it's rare. I wouldn't just expect it to happen, but I can't predict it either. So, but only thing I can really expect is for the predominant volume to win the battle. So here we have this PVC, and this is bigger than these ones. And it's just that simple. This PVC is bigger than than these ones. So the expectation is that we can run to the high side all these candles. Even if we get a rejection, it's like, well, even if we get a rejection, I would expect for price to come back here, tap, and make another run. So again, we came here and we went this high, and then we went this low since this candle formed. Right? Well, technically, this candle formed and we went this low, the low of this candle right here. So when we retraced and we didn't take this low, that was a really good sign, right? It was a good sign, the fact that we were able to take this high, right? We made a higher high before we took this low. So at that point, I'll be feeling like, yeah, bulls are in control and we should continue to run highs. So here I may want to keep those for later. I don't know. I may see a setup here in the immediate. I may not, but I'm not going to take a lot of time with it. I'm gonna just see if something is obvious to me, because I definitely got a late start on the day. Price has been delivering, and a lot of times when like this happens, well, I sometimes catch really good moves in the afternoon, so I can't really say that. But judging off my PVCs on the chart right now, we got this one right here. That's within this range. We got the low right here. We got the high right here. So I'm gonna make these purple again. Purple for PVC. Peak volume candle. Okay, so I like that this formed. We went high, we went low. And when we referenced the low here, we made a higher high. But now we just came into it and we made a lower low. And then we closed back above it and we failed to run highs again once we closed back above this candle. So this candle is showing me weakness, right? So I'm not super sold on longs right now, especially if we run back beneath it. If we close back beneath this candle, well, I don't know if that's really a strong, because I'm saying like if we close back beneath it, then I'm thinking like, well, where should we go, right? And here we did get, like this is my EBC, so we are getting this consolidation sort of action. We are close into it, and this level right here, the low, this is the low on the 5. This EBC. Like I said, I do like price coming back and retracing this 30. That would be ideal if we could get a break there, especially if we get some strong move, because this is very relevant, for this range. And my 30, so this is my PVC, and it's resting right there beneath the 30. So you see, we got that run above it, and yeah, we referenced the 30, but looks like here, let me see, the low of this candle is 24.92425. The high of this candle is 24. So it was 0.25 away from actually referencing this high. So we see that right here. So I would like to get long with the trend. So if we fail to take this low here, then I would feel kind of good about and notice we got, this is our EVC, IVC, right? Ending volume candle right here, and the opposing volume candle is going to be your IVC. So this is our igniting volume candle that's coming in at liquidity, and it's bullish. And notice what we got here at the high of it, right? We ran above it, and then when we retrace, right? Notice we tapped back into this level, and it made me kind of worried because we closed above it and we didn't take any highs. All right, it was just a weak move back above it, but we retrace into this bullish IVC, and that's effectively the most volume within the range right now. Within this range right here. So I'm gonna get long off of this level. I'm gonna give it some room to breathe. Price isn't moving that much. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna give it some room to breathe and see if we get a tap back into it. And I want to see price target these highs. So, we just made a higher high, which is good. So now I'm going to see if we can get a tap back into this price before we take off, if we do take off. Excuse me. So notice we got volume going from low to high here. So following up that with the rejection, this is engulfing, and we have engulfing volume as well. But I do want to see a rejection off this EVC. All right, so now we're in a trade, so we'll see if I jump the gun or not. Like I said, the best entry would have been to wait for price to come down to this 30 here. Yeah, it would have been for price to come down to the 30, and we look for longs off of there. But I like this bullish IVC right here. I like that we came and we tapped it right here. I don't want to see price run this low. So if we do continue to run bearish, it's not going to be likely that I hold this for a full stop. I really want to see price turn around right here. I can't believe it was 12:30 when I checked the phone. These blackout curtains is crazy. It's crazy, bro. I thought it was like 8 in the morning. For real. Life of an unemployed, struggling trader. That's tough. But yeah, we're getting decent reaction here. I like the volume, or not the volume, but the bottom tail. So that's what you want to see. Once you get the close above, you want to see the rejection come from the low. and notice the body, we respected it. All right, so we closed here. We closed right on top of our PVC here. So you just want to see price keep pushing up, start making some higher lows and higher highs. That's another thing that's kind of tough too. It's one thing that kind of makes me overtrade, because sometimes I will jump the gun. Like this isn't a bad entry. It's not a bad spot to get in with the trend, but it's not the best spot to get in with the trend. Like I said, your big moves are typically going to happen from your higher time frame PVC. Now, if you see a lower time frame PVC form around the higher time frame PVC, then that's just confirmation, that you want to be entering around that level. Um, but like this here, we don't really have. I mean, for one, we're chopping, right? There's nothing that's really that strong here to say like, we should run. This could very well be a fake out. Um, but again, I mean, I like the bullish volume here. So, but yeah, the thing is like, I'll take a trade like this, and it may be a loss, or I may close it early, because I don't really like the movement or whatever. Um, and then we'll go exactly to where we could get a great move at, and you know, maybe by that time I'm out of the market, or because the last few weeks when I was trading, my fund is, and I was still doing some challenges. That's where I was messing up the most. Was that I wasn't waiting for price to get to that great area. You see, now we're getting this bearish volume come in as we tap close into it here. We're gonna want to see an Engulf like immediately, but we could definitely take this low. Like this might not be something that I hold, especially you see this volume coming in here now. We're gonna see what happens after this closes, because we're closing into the candle again. But yeah, I would get frustrated because I take a trade and then the market would just be chopping, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, why is it like, why aren't we getting delivery? Like, why? How come when I take my setup, price isn't just like moving anymore? Like we're done delivering. Like now we're chopping again, and then I take a loss, and I'd be just frustrated. And to try to get over the loss, I would try to like get it back really quick. I would revenge trade. So I would like just find a level and be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just take this level. And I just put a limit order at the next level. And then it would get ran straight to stop. Wouldn't even get a chance to read it or nothing. It just go straight to stop. It's like the market just kept punishing me for being impatient and being, frustrated. And it's like it's really impersonal. But so with this one right here, um, I kind of want to give it a chance to go this low right here. If we take this low out, I'm out the trade. If we take this low, and then I may set an alert at the 30 and just wait to see if we go there again, and if we do, then I'll be looking for another trade in that area. But um, other than that, yeah, I'm not really too. How much? This is a doji, and we got 4,210, and this is 4.17. So this doji has more volume than my bullish IVC right here. So I'm not a big fan of that, especially since we're running the low. So we'll see how price wants to react to the low and the high of this doji, because now this is the most volume within this range. Well, you still got, or no, it's not. I'm sorry, the IVC still has the most volume. The IVC right here has 4,590. So I mean, hey, we could definitely visit the low. I don't know if I want to extend my stop to even give it a chance to do that, because we got this 5 minute right here. Yeah, we'll just see, because right now we're getting this tap beneath the low. So I want to see price try to run at least to the high side of this doji. And if we can't do that, I'm gonna just leave this stop right here. But if we can't run to the high side of this doji, because that's why I want to see if we can get a strong move back above it. Because I like the rejections that we're getting from the low. I mean, that's pretty good. So when this doji formed, this was the high, and we just took the high, right? And this is the low, and we also took the low. Or, I'm sorry, this doji formed, and this was as low as it went, because price pretty much immediately went low after it formed. But after it formed, we got this little wick up, and this was the high. So see if we can take the high here, which we already did. We just want to see price run to the high of this doji and see what kind of reaction we get at the high of the doji, because we could definitely get a rejection there. Yeah, and so that's where the conflict is too, because I can't guarantee that price is going to come back down here to the 30. Like we might not visit this level. We might only just visit the 5, the low of the 5. Yeah, so we are engulfing at the high there, and now we're coming back for these lows again. So if we take these lows, I'm going to be getting out of this trade. And this is pretty much the trade that I hit last night. It was for 13. It was for like 15 handles or so. But yeah, I don't really like this trade as much anymore. I mean, I wasn't in love with it to begin with, so I probably never should have really dealt with it like that. But a loss here wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be so bad. So I just want to see what happens when price hits a different PVC. Because I mean, right now we got this 1 minute PVC, and it is bullish, and it is controlling. I'm gonna put it a little bit beneath that. Let's make it 200. Cool. Yeah, because again, like I know price can reference this level to low here, like we did here. We got the wick here. It's like we don't really want to see this low get took, but now that we're rejecting off of the high, I'm just not really that confident in it, because we keep rejecting off the high of this PVC now. And we're digging in. We dug in a little low right here, and this is the kind of action that you expect to see off of the doji. You're getting this like back and forth mixed price action. Indecisive. That's what the doji is, indecisive. So you get a doji PVC, then you're going to expect some indecisive price action to follow. All right, so I like this engulf here. We're engulfing this top tail, and we got more volume than this top tail. So we'll see what kind of reaction. Again, we're still looking at the top of this doji, see if we can make it there. Yeah, but that's one thing. Like if I really like the trade, then I'm gonna give it the 40 handles. And if I start to dislike it while I'm in the trade, then I may move to stop up. Like this one, I didn't really love it, but I gave it 40 handles just because it's it's New York session and I want to give it room to breathe. But um, after just being in it and thinking a little bit more about it and seeing how it's moving, I'm like, I liked it a lot less. So it's like I'm gonna risk more for the ones I love. I'm gonna risk more for them, but for the ones that I don't really rock with you like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if somebody you love need help, you know what I'm saying? They hit you like, yo, like I need $100. Like, yo, I'm down bad. I just need like a little something to hold me over for the next couple days. I got you, bro. Don't trip. I got you with 100. But if somebody you don't rock with like that hit you for that same 100, you like, shit, I got like $20 for you, bro. It's like I rock with you, but I'm not like that though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna give you the whole honey bun. I give you like $20. You know. So this is good. This is what we want to see. See how we got the close above this doji. In the next candle, we wick from the low, or we wick from the high of the doji. Right. So if this was going to reverse, then we would have got this close above here, and then we would have got the engulf. Now sometimes the engulf comes within the next two candles. It doesn't always come on the first candle. Sometimes it takes a couple of candles. But this is offering profit. It's offering profit. And again, this bullish IVC is still the most volume in this range. So it definitely could be a fake out. I mean, minus the fact that we're inside of this bullish PVC right here. It's the EVC coming at the top of the swing. So the fact that we came back into it, we visited the low, and we pretty much consolidated. Mostly on the mostly at the 50% range for this. Right, so if we just measure this candle and we look at how price was reacting, look, the wicks are coming right here at the 50% range. And whenever we close, the 50% range of this EVC. So there's other little things that I kind of like look at, to measure strength and stuff, but it's like extra. You don't necessarily need to look that deep into it. You could really just kind of be like, oh, big candle versus little candle. Like it's very simple. Big, or not big candle, but big spike. These are spikes. All right, big spike beats all the little spikes. Right, the big spike right here. Every time we bounced into it, all these little spikes lost, and we got price and ran up. All right, we don't ran up, and we just took this high now. Took this high, and you see price came back and referenced this doji again. Because right now this doji is the big spike. So the fact that we visited the low and now we just closed above it, it could be time for our bulls to make another run here. I would definitely like to see this high get visited. Now this doji. Okay, so this is the high of the 5-minute PVC. So the fact that we're closing back above it, we could definitely see an engulf happen. We could see some bearish volume come in and engulf because we just got this first close back above it. Notice when we closed into it, we were wicking from the high, wick here, and now we just closed. So you can expect a engulf to happen now. We don't want to see that. All right, we want to see the rejection from the high and for price to push higher. So those are the two expectations. I feel like I'm either gonna see an engulf right within this candle or the candle after is gonna engulf this level of price, or we're gonna see price reject from the high and continue to push higher. Which my volume on the lower time frame tells me that we should be rejecting from the high and pushing higher because I got a bullish IVC here. If I had a bearish, if I had some say this EVC had more volume than my IVC and it formed like right here, right? Then I would be expecting for price to come back and visit the low. So that's something that I have to, if I see it in real time, I'll be able to point that out better because that may be a little hard to visualize when you're not familiar with the concept. But yeah, man, we cool. We just sitting through this one, man. Sitting through this one. Again, we want to see price push up from here. Like I said, I would love to see us continue to run on these highs. All right. So notice when this printed, well, hold up though. That's my thing. So this candle right here, this is my big spike, PVC. Right. So the fact that we're back above it, we're getting this wick rejection here, and we're about to close this 5 minute, and we're pushing up even higher. That's a very, very good sign. Also, the rejection that led us down here was this, and this is a doji top tail. Top tail. We got the wick from the bottom as well. So I'm gonna be looking at this area right here. We should see a rejection when we get right here. Now, if we can strong close inside of this as well, then we would want to see the rejection come from the low, continue to push up, and target these highs. But as it stands right here, just looking at the 1 minute, we don't have any strong bearish volume to contest this PVC. So the fact that we failed to run these lows over here and we're back on top of it, and we got the strong close here, we wicked it, and then we're back on top of the 5. We really want to see bulls just continue to make a run higher. So all of these videos I'm making are like an hour long, bro. Maybe that's just how long it takes to trade. I mean, I'll be trying to just make a quick little like 15, 20, even 30 minutes would be cool, bro. But every time I make a video, bro, it's like an hour long. If I could get a quicker delivery, then the video would be shorter, but I keep getting it chopped. But yeah, we want to see what happens when price hits this level. I guess what I could do, I could just start pausing the video until it gets to a certain level and then just explain from there. That would definitely shrink it down, you know. Because the thing is, like, I don't got $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got $1 million, so I don't really expect people to listen to what I'm telling them about trading. Because they'd be like, well, if you know all this, why ain't you rich? Why ain't you got the bread, bro? Why you at your mama crib? It'd be like, had some little issues, but I mean, this is what it is. That's why I'm just starting to record it now, because it's like I don't see anybody else breaking down price like this. Nah, I learned how to read volume. There's a guy on YouTube. His name's, I want to say, Jared Wesley, Live Traders. Let me make sure that's his name before I shout him out. Yep. Yep. Shout out Jared Wesley. Jared Wesley with Live Traders. He had a lot of retail concepts that are pretty simple to digest. But he was the one who introduced me to the idea of ending volume, right? When you see volume going from low to high, like how to actually understand what it means, right? So here it goes from low to high, right? We go from low to high, we get this delivery here, and then we get the most volume at the top of the swing, and we get what? We get consolidation. That is a concept that Jared Wesley taught me on YouTube, Live Traders. But I took it a step further and kind of combined like the price action around the EVC to learn how to, form my entries, and combining it with the higher time frames and scaling down to the lower time frame to see the same thing on the lower time frame and to do what I'm doing now. And break down what I've been explaining in all of my videos. So, I don't see anybody on I don't see anybody else on YouTube that's breaking it down like this. There's a lot of guys that use maybe a lot of indicators or like I was studying ICT for a bit. I don't know if he created the fair value gap concept or if that's just a normal thing. I don't know, but for a while that was like my bread and butter. Like, oh, bro, fair value gap, bro. If I just get in on the fair value gap, I'm gonna make a lot of money. But it's like you, there's so many gaps, bro. Like this is a gap, right? This is a gap. You know what I mean? This is a gap. You know, this is a gap right here. There's so many gaps. It's like, bro, how do you know which one to pick? Which one's actually gonna get targeted? Like, So don't get me wrong. I think anybody can come up with something that works for them. You know, this just happens to be what I have the most success with. Is just reading volume and uh, trying to trade with the PVC. Or at least trade around how prices reacting to the PVC. So I mean, obviously we got bullish PVC. So until we got bullish PVCs in a bullish trend. So I want to be long. Until we start to close, beneath, and maybe I can catch a little scalp like here. How I said, we close back into this 5-minute PVC. This was the high of the 5 right here. Already got it. Yeah, once we close back into it, on the 5, and then we started seeing the wick rejections from the high, right? We wick from the high. Like these are little scalps, and obviously on the 5, like when the market's like this, these moves aren't that big. But when you take this concept and you put it on like the hour, right? This was an hour PVC, and we closed into it, and we were wicking from the high. Then you got, bearish momentum for the next 3 hours, right? This move, instead of being from 25,013 to, instead of it being 23 handles, this move would be like 100 handles, Now we may still stay in a bullish trend, and it may just be like a little consolidation, but you caught the move, but you know where to get in. That's all the difference. All right, so price is tanking again here, and like I said, I wanted to see us touch these highs. I don't like that we're failing to take this high right here. I don't really like that we're failing to take this high before we come back. I really wanted to see price give me a reaction inside of here. So I may be getting out of this trade, and that'd be another thing too, like that'll have me a little upset. With this one, I'm not really tripping, because this is a really good video, some good information in this video. But like when I'm in a trade, like bro, Where did I enter this trade? Okay, so I got in this trade at 111. So I done sat through all of this chop, and in this little weak delivery right here that didn't even get me to this high, right? And then you'll get all of these profits to get wiped out in a matter of like 5 minutes. It's like bro, I've been sitting here for 25 minutes, and it didn't really go to where I wanted it to go. And then you'll get boom, like bears will just come in really out of nowhere. So that type of stuff will have me it's frustrated me before for sure. But I'm not really sold on needing to get out just yet. Um, Let me look at the 5. It's 138, so we got a couple more minutes here. Yeah, and then you got, okay, so this volume here has a little bit more. It's got 14,066 or 14,660, and this one's 14,410. So with this, so this is like an EPC, right? You go from top to bottom, you get the doji here, and you get the most bearish volume right here on this candle coming in as you close into the 5 minute, right? And then we get this, this engulfing action right here. But notice how we're getting the reversal at the high side of this candle. So this candle right here let me know that we should see some rejections at the high side of this candle. So so this is pretty normal, but the fact that this bearish volume is more than this, I really don't want to see. I want to see price engulf like immediately because we just closed back into this 5. So that would be ideal. I don't want to see rejections at this level now. I want to see price run back to the high side of it. But looking at this volume here, I mean, we got this EVC. We want to be rejecting from the low here and pushing up. It doesn't look like it's giving us that right now. We still got some time though. All right, there's rejection from the low. See if we want to carry out the rejection or if we want to close bearish. I'm not really a big fan of that close. Notice how these wicks are at the high side. Let's see if we can get a strong run back above this 5-minute PVC. That would be ideal. And I mean, market conditions like the volatility, that's something to consider too. Like last week, we were like super volatile. See, it's like much easier if you know where the action is happening at. You know where to frame your entry at, or you can get big moves like. But it'll happen fast. Like you'll get in a trade and you'll be up 30, 40 handles, within seconds, and it's like, yo, this is what we want to see. Is a strong close back above this level, and we really don't want to go back to these lows. So I may move this to break even because if we run this low again, then we're probably gonna run lows, and I would rather this be a break even trade than take a loss at this point because I've been in it so long. I mean, if it's break even and whatever, but we really want to see price take back off now and hit this high, like I said before, hit that level. But I mean, to retrace back into this doji, I mean, that makes sense. And looks like we rejected from the high of the body, right, the open. And now it's rejecting from the high right here. So I don't know. Getting that close back into the 5. Not a big fan of that. I might just close this one out, man. Might be better than break even, because we very well could come back and tap the spot. I want to give it some time. I mean, I've been in this trade for a while. Whenever I'm in a trade for like, I usually don't be in trades for ever, especially when I got 5 contracts. It's like, bro, when the market's moving, like to get, I think my TP was like 50 handles, damn near 60 handles. Like, bro, that's honestly something that when the market's moving, you can see that in a matter of minutes. 1 minute, 2 minutes. So when you're in the right spot, I mean, that's when it's really moving. But on a normal day, I mean, what, 4 or 5 minutes maybe. It just shouldn't take that long, to get your delivery. So the fact that I've been in this trade and I think it was up, like my entry's 25,000. We went up, 28 handles, so that's 280, which, I mean, that's not bad at all, you know. But just knowing that when the market's moving, like it'll offer that, within seconds. So the fact that sometimes I'm in a trade and it's like, I sat through a little bit of drawdown here. We went about 13 handles in drawdown, and offered 28 handles of profit. And it took, I mean, I've been in this trade since 111. Yeah, I've been in this trade 30 minutes, so. Okay, so it's 145. Let's look at the 15. I haven't really looked at these other time frames, anything higher than a 5. I mean, we definitely are super bullish on, I mean, you could just look at the chart and tell that we're super bullish, but what's happening on these lower time frames is kind of letting me know, like, when the tide could be turning. So I like that we turned around right there. That's what we want to see. Let me go back to the 5 real quick. Because, yeah, I mean, we like closed back into it. So, like I was saying, I want to see an engulf happen like right away. So, within the next 2 candles, you want to see this level of price get engulf. The fact that we closed back into this level. We closed back into it, and we actually went beneath this low. So, we made a lower low, but we failed to take these lows. The first time we closed into it, this was as far as we went. Well, the first time was here. So we took the low here. So, but I will say though, typically, traits like patience is what will reward you on the chart. So, being patient for your setup, being patient for your, being patient while you're in the trade for it to play out in your favor. And that's what I'm balancing a lot of the time. It's like, how patient do I need to be if I'm seeing something I don't like? Right now, we don't have any opposing bearish volume that's more than, this is my candle that's carrying price up. And you see we're making higher highs off of this candle. So sometimes you gotta like sit through the chop. And as long as it's not showing you a reason to actually get out the trade, just be patient with it. Maybe even just close the chart and check back later, or put an alert on the volume. So you'll see, like, if we get more volume, then your phone will go off and it'll be like, oh, we got more. So now you're looking at it like, all right, does this opposing volume look like it can carry us back into, my level? And if something like that happens, then you might say, well, I'm going to just close the trade now, or I'm going to move my stop to break even. things like that. But when you're trading with the trend and you get an entry like here, and this is what I was saying earlier, because I took this entry and this is a good trade. You know, I mean, honestly, I could close this trade. I would feel pretty good about it. Um, we got another little EBC right here, but again, we want to see the EBC be similar to the similar or more than the volume. The PVC that started the move. So this candle right here is what's guiding this move. So when we get volume that matches this or that's more than this, then we could expect a reversal, right? But the market is not going to stay in accumulation forever. It's not going to chop forever. So as long as you're getting in with the trend and the volume, you know, then you can feel good until you see opposing volume that's more than the volume that you got in on. You know, you can just kind of sit there and just be patient and wait. You know, like me, I'll see certain things that I don't like, and I'll just mitigate because again, you don't know when that volume's gonna come in. We could get a bunch of volume coming right now and not even take these highs. And then, like when you look at the 5, notice this candle printed and we never closed on top of it. We wicked here, we wicked here, we wicked here. We kept wick rejecting from this candle, and that gave us this move. So the fact that we're coming here now and we're getting another rejection, it makes sense. Right, we got the EBC right there near it. Now we don't really want to see price run beneath this level. We don't want to see it. It's not really giving me a reason to close, but I kind of want to close because I'm just satisfied with the trade. Like I'm satisfied with the fact that I sat through the chop, adjusted my stop on the levels that I wasn't really comfortable with, and I wanted to see certain things happen with price, and if I didn't see it, then I was moving my stop or just debating on like just getting out. But yeah, so the fact we're getting this rejection here again, we got the EBC, so we may not just get immediate delivery back to the upside, but the fact that we closed above it and now we just close inside of it again, we want to see price take this high. If we don't take this high here within the next couple candles, then I'll be getting out the trade. Because we had the EBC form, and then we went, this is as high as it went since it formed, and this is as low as it went since it formed. Right, and it looks like we got equal lows right here. So we just closed back above it, right? So the fact that we closed back above it, because we closed back above it now, before we take this low, we want to take this high. So it's the same thing that I'll be doing on higher time frame, how I'll be measuring the strength of the volume of the candle. I just shrink it down. And I'm looking at it like this now. So let's see what happens here if we want to take the low first or the high. Because if we take the low first, then we could get a little deeper retrace, and I don't really care to sit through it for much longer. This is a pretty good trade, good video. I'll be ready to just go ahead and close shop. But that's what I was saying about earlier was when I say like I was debating my here, I'll just put this here at the low. I don't really care if we sweep it and go back longer. I like that. 4 would be ideal, but we want to see this high go before the low. That's the main thing. So I'm gonna just leave it where it's at, leave the stop where it's at. But yeah, that's what I was saying about waiting. Because again, you don't know if it's actually gonna come to this level. So it's like I may take a trade that, like I would have loved for price to retrace into the 30 and see if we could find an entry inside the 30. But we don't know if price is actually going to go there. And what's happening right now was, we had this PVC, and it's like, well, price is operating around this PVC. I could, to find something that makes sense inside of this PVC. The way price is reacting to this level, right? We were inside of the 5-minute PVC, and inside of that 5-minute PVC, we had a 1-minute PVC, right? And then at the low of that 1-minute PVC, we formed the IVC. And then we ran above, and then when we retraced, we tapped the IVC there. So it's like, well, maybe I can just get in long here and expect for price to run back up above the 5-minute, get the close above the 5, and then reject from the high and push up higher. And that's what we got. So, again, I'm learning every day. I'm growing. I'm watching this stuff take place and just kind of adding it to my bag. But I'm wanting to just honor this stop right here and let this play out. We might even hit TP. You never know. Might even hit TP. But we keep trying to make a run here, but we are rejecting at this level right here. We got to get a close back above it, preferably a strong close. We are making, you just zoom in here, we are making some higher lows. We just took this high. We still ain't took out that one though. Is this it? The finale? There it is. So yeah, and that's what I mean about like the EVC. Like, I don't expect for price to run all the way down here off of this volume, but when this candle printed, we got this pretty good delivery here. But when this candle printed, that let me know halftime. So I like to get out on these kind of candles, especially when I done already sat through a bunch of nonsense. But yeah, solid trade. I just kind of keep growing this little paper trade account. I just keep growing it, just getting ready to get back into the market. Obviously, it's $1 million. I don't care. I'm not really focused on the amount of money on the paper trade account. Just focusing on reading the chart, getting good entries, and managing the trade. So, I mean, we got some pretty good wins on here. Like, this was last night. Last night the market was moving super slow, so caught me a little 15, got on. But yeah. So that's it for this one.